Hello, shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday Night Live stream. We all hope y'all had a good week. CW, I know you are experiencing some temporary technical difficulties, but how was your week, my brother?
Sorry about the camera, guys. Somehow I'm sideways. I can't make it right, so I'll just stay off for a little bit here. Good week. Went by really fast. I was really busy. I was running all over the place, taking care of 10 different things, 12 different topics and subjects, and just we had all kinds of heat out here, and then it got cold. I'm sitting here in a sweatshirt and sweatpants on. It's probably 60 degrees outside. Crazy weather.
Lucky man.
Six, how are you?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. We had a pretty good week. Got a little shooting done over the weekend. Finished up that 1 year video of testing tight group and powder coat. That went pretty good. Work went pretty good. It's been raining though. It rained every afternoon this week. So hopefully it gives us a break tomorrow to do some cowboy shooting. How about you, Andy?
Yeah, work is work. It was a long week, busy, and the AC in our building doesn't keep up with the heat. So we're sitting at 86 degrees indoors. That's as best the AC will do when we got the kind of blistering sun we had 3 days, like almost 100 degrees here. So we survived it. And that's it. Hoping to go shooting this weekend, actually on Sunday. Test out the athlon at the range. And that's about it. How about you, Ron? Rebel?
We took in a consignment estate collection of nothing but pretty much Venturous rifles, and they'll be there at the shop when you guys who are coming get to come in and preview them. And very pretty. Some of them are set up more in a hunting configuration, some up more in the Venturous. But some real hot calibers, so I had to check them all out with borescope. 6.284, 22 243, 22 250 AI, and a smattering of others that were pretty hot. So I only found one with a little bit of firecracking, but looks like they were all rebarreled before this guy passed away. So they're really in good shape. And I enjoyed taking them in for this young couple. It was her daddy's, and we'll see what we can do for them.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I got excuse me. I did get a bucket list out of my I got a 20 gauge 1100 with threaded chokes. So that was a bonus plus out of that collection for me. So didn't have to trade too much or give too much blood to get it either. So sorry.
Gene, are you there?
Boom. Oh, yeah, I'm here. Just behind the camera. I was behind the camera. Had to sneak back around. Oh, I had a good hot week at work. Then I get up, taking a shower, and going to work and staying wet all day, and coming back home and taking another shower. But we got a lot of stuff done. It was just busy. We are going to have a massive 4th of July sale, though, which that's going to be a really good one coming up. A lot of stuff on sale. A lot of primers, a lot of powder, free hazmat and all that stuff, you know. So let's see. What have I got going? Oh, I got a GSSF shoot tomorrow morning. Then I'm getting packed up. And early Sunday morning, we're talking the butt crack of dawn early. We're going to be heading south.
Where are you going?
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, I thought about going to North Carolina. There's this little town down there. seems to have some interesting areas and maybe an interesting gun shop to go to and check out. Some different chow hall places, and we're gonna see what happens.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. I thought, I canceled out going to a Factory Gun Nationals for 6 hours this year, working that and competing in it. I thought this would be a better way of spending some vacation time. I was actually taking a vacation.
Good
Well,
deal.
we appreciate it.
Yeah. That's all I got, though. Just happy to be here. Happy to be here. Walter.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm doing better than I was the previous 2 weeks. I'll tell you that much. After a nasty bout with a swarm of kidney stones, I finally got rid of the last chunk this week.
Woo!
4mm piece.
Lord.
Ugh.
Ow!
There was quite a bit before that, but anyway, that part's over with, and so I got back out to the range one day this week, and I got some ammo made up. I haven't done much in the way of casting lately, but we'll have to rectify that pretty soon. I got a couple of things that need to get cast up, but mostly life is good here. You guys have been talking about your bad weather, and I hate to keep saying the same old thing, but the weather here is the same old thing at this time of year. It's overcast and 52 degrees at sunrise, and it kind of stays that way till 11 o'clock, and then everything clears away. Warms all the way up to about 72, 73, and then starts cooling back down again at night. And so it's pretty stable pattern we're in right here, but we won't get any rain at all again until maybe September. We're kind of in a desert here, but other than that, that's kind of what's going on here. I'm happy to be here and happy to see everybody over in the side chat. All our good friends are showing up in rapid fire over there, and that's always a good sight to my tired old sore eyes. So looking good. Mr. Lusk, how you doing?
I'm doing great, everybody. Good to see everybody in the side chat. Good to be seen here, even though I'm not seen. Speaking of weather, it's raining like crazy, but I'm enjoying watching my pool fill up, and it doesn't cost me any money to do that, so I'm good with that. It's been really warm here. I think they said with the heat index on Wednesday, it was 111 or 114, something like that. It was hot. It was hot. I went outside early in the morning and start doing some stuff outside, and by about 9:30, I went, nope, I'm done. Came back inside. But, yeah, it's good to be here, and looking forward to carrying on what we're carrying on about. Back to you, Mr. Howell. How are you?
I ain't worth shooting, so get them ideas out your head.
Yeah, but we love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Amen, brother. So GDW says 98 out there. Vanessa Kitty 2 days ago, 111. Yeah, it's that time of year.
Yep.
And it's just oppressive heat. One thing I wanted to bring up is we're starting Independence Week. We're a week from today will be our nation's birthday, and we need to have a good time. We need to enjoy ourselves. We need to get out there and grill them steaks and do what we do to celebrate. But at the same time, let's remember what it cost us and what it cost some of those that have served. There's Christian. Let me send Christian a link if I can. I need to get I've got his email address in the wrong account. But yeah, we'll we'll get that done. There you go, Christian. Should be getting there shortly. Yeah. There's Ron 2A Matters. I can't keep up with y'all. Hey, Curtis. That's what I was wanting to. Daniel's still whining. I mean, still whining.
We're going to go out and shoot 6 stages of the cowboy in the morning. It's going to be hot and muggy.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Jamie. I'm not going to whine about it, but I'm going to tell you about it. The range we shot at, the highway department tore up a road, and they offered to give it to the range for backstops and filler. So what it is, it's all ground up asphalt. The range is. I mean, the ground, the berms, it's all this leftover road construction stuff. And we all stayed and shot 12 stages, except for, well, a lot of people left. But our squad, everybody stayed on our squad and finished all 12 stages through the day. And it was sweltering one. The range had a huge cooler full of ice water, and that was going very quickly. Plus what everybody else brought. So it was definitely a trial by fire.
I get it. I get it. Christian, take care of the wife, buddy. Got Vanessa Kitty says this time of year Arizona has contest who can cook eggs on the pavement the fastest.
It can be done.
Yeah,
It can be done.
Particularly if you like them over easy.
Yeah.
One guy. We're gonna call y'all out at the bottom of the hour.
Come on.
All right, Rich B has a question. I think some people in this room have some of those. Charter arm revolvers. I had one that belonged to a friend, but it was a pawn shop find, and it would lock up. But I sent it back to Charter Arms for that friend, and they fixed it. And I think it wasn't. I had to pay for it, but it wasn't like buying a new gun. But Thorzak's has those. I think he has a pair of Charter Arms Bulldogs, the 44 specials, and he says for carrying, that's all a feller will need. And 44 makes a pretty big hole, so
It'll get the job done, that's for sure.
Oh, yes.
yeah. Daniel says he
My
wasn't.
only experience is I had a guy trade in a Pit Boss, a 9mm, and a couple of days later I was cleaning it and playing with it and noticed something was off, and it was out of time pretty bad. So I sent it back, and they repaired it for nothing. Sent it back to me.
Yeah, this gun that I sent back to him was from probably the 80s. Like I said, it was a pawn shop find.
Yeah.
It was his wife's first carry gun, and it got to where they would take it to the range and it would actually lock up. In other words, you squeezed the trigger and the cylinder wasn't turned. So it was out of time really bad too.
Right.
Walks. There you go. Rollis agrees. Yeah, buddy. Pretty cool.
That zinc makes the guy sleepy.
How would I know that? If you say so, Curtis.
That would be up to Andy.
I know it. I know it puts holes in paper.
In a hurry too.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, y'all see our banner at the bottom Monday and Tuesday. Come meet with us over at Bullseye Sporting Goods in Vail, North Carolina. And we hope a lot of y'all show up. And I think we should, Glenn. We really should talk about wheel guns because they're revolvers and lever actions are just two of my favorite things in life. You know, good to see Preacher's Day off out there. I think CW wanted to talk about kind of just some random lever actions. You know, we've been trying to go in order and talk about the significant the history in and progression of the advancement of them, but I think it's a good idea, and he brought up a couple of good ones. You want to start on that, CW?
Sure. We've got it's still pretty old, but it made production into the 90s, I think, or maybe right into the 2000s, just into 2000s, and that's the Savages. They started with the 95, the 1895, and that ran until the mid 1920s, and then they upgraded it, improved it, and called it the Model 99 or 1899, and that ran up until the early 2000s. And that one, the first one, the 95, saw all the traditional cartridges like the 3240 and the 303 Savage and the 3030 and the 2535 and the 3855, and it's all those kind of cartridges. And then when the 1899 came out, it had all the same ones, plus it came out with a couple of hot rods. One was the 22 high power, and then in the later 20s, it was the 2520 and the 22 250. No, try again. 250 Savage and 300 Savage, the two Savage calibers. And then they brought it out in 243, 308, and then we saw it in 375 Winchester. So that was in a whole pile of calibers. 358 Winchester, a really good 35 caliber. And then in the 50s, Winchester brought out their Model 88 Winchester, and that ran until the early 70s, didn't it, Mike? I think 73, 75, something like that.
Yes.
And that one
Yes,
came
sir.
in all high intensity. That came in 243, 708, 308, 358, and 284 Winchester, which was a cartridge before its time. And then, of course, in the 70s, I think, around the time the 88 left, if I'm not mistaken, Browning brought out the BLR. And that's running through today. That's available. And that's had, I don't think it was ever chambered for the traditional lever action calibers. It's been all high intensity, 243, 308, 708, all those, including full length 3006, 270, 280, and the Magnums, 300, 7mm. They've got iterations of that with alloy frames and long actions and takedowns, and goodness, there's a pile of different Browning BLR rifles. And then the last one is more modern, is what Henry has done with their Long Ranger, and just this year, the Supreme. The Supreme, if you don't know, it's a lever action, AR magazine fed, hammerless, 223 and 300 blackout lever action. And the Long Range Hunter is a lot like the BLR. It's chambered in the 6.5 Creed, 223, 308, and probably a couple of others. And it's a really nice hunting rifle. So there's modern lever actions taken over where, well, they didn't really leave off, but improved upon with ballistics and modern calibers over the 94 Winchester and 336 Marlin. So, and of course, mixed in there, we've got Rossi making lever actions, and we've got Mossberg making lever actions. Mossberg was an interesting one. They made lever actions that copied the Winchester for a while, and they made lever actions that copied the Marlin for a while.
Yeah.
And of course, the same thing for Rossi. Rossi makes the 92s, which are pretty close. They're not exact, but they're close copies of a 92 Winchester. Then they got their 95, which is closer to a Marlin. And they've had other models in between. So there's quite a few of modern lever action.
Now Mossberg's trying to mimic the get into the AR-15 crowd, and they're making tactical 30-30s.
Yeah, that became a thing.
Those are neat.
That became a thing a couple of years ago. And
Yeah, those are neat.
hey, whatever floats your boat. You know, it's not my thing, but somebody else might like it, and more power to them.
Yeah, Ranger Point Precision.
That's the one. Yeah.
It makes a lot of. I bought some stuff from them, but I've not gone so far as to put an AR style handguard on one of my lever actions.
Yeah, I agree. But if that's your jam, you know, go for it. Hey, it's America. You know, do what you want.
Yeah, I said they were neat. I didn't say I was going out looking for one tomorrow.
One thing I will say, I could do this, and that is threaded muzzles, because they are a sealed breech firearm, and they do make a dandy suppressor host.
I can see that.
So what do you got? Anybody got any of those? Anybody really like any of those? Anybody, you know, what do you think about those? My first deer rifle that I bought myself was a BLR Browning in 358 with a 3-power Leopold M8 scope on it. And that was my first that I bought myself deer rifle. I've had 88s. I got a couple of Savages now, 99s. They're nice rifles. I've never had one of the Henry Long Rangers or the Supremes.
My mother-in-law, she hunted with a 99 and 243. That was a pretty good gun.
Yep.
In the movie Joe Kidd, what's his name?
Clint Eastwood?
Yeah.
Robert Duvall.
Duvall pulled out a Savage. Was it a 99 or a 95?
You're right, he did. I remember that. And
Because I always see it and I'll think 99, but I didn't know they made something before that.
yeah, the big look on them is the buttstocks are generally English style. That's the big giveaway. But they were, you know, altered by people throughout the years.
Oh yeah, well the one my brother-in-law had, the stock was sawed off.
Yep.
She was a little short woman. Killed a lot of deer with him until somebody broke into the vehicle and stole it.
For the period of the time that the movie was supposed to take place, it should have been a 95. Well, no, it could have been either one.
I don't know, because they were shooting automatics
Yep.
too.
It could have been either one. You're right.
It was in that
They were-
1900 period.
They were shooting bolt actions. One of them had a bolt action. I think it was Duvall.
No, that was this guy that was being a sniper.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. If y'all remember back last week, when we were talking about the history of Marlin, they made, if y'all remember me mentioning it, they made a lot of the Savage Model 95s for Savage before Savage geared up to be able to manufacture them themselves.
Yeah, they went through some iterations too. They had removable magazines. They had, of course, the blind magazine. Everybody knows them as that brass follower with the number of cartridges on the side, tell you how many cartridges you had in the magazine. That's a 99s.
Let me see if I can do this, and then we got to call out all those nice folks over on the side chat. Here we go. There's a Savage 99.
Mm-hmm.
Is that bolt not that handle weird, ain't it? With that piece of metal going all the way up inside there.
Yeah.
Notice how the receiver is relatively small, but that wood, the stock is actually longer right in there than a lot of lever guns of the era. Here's another one. See if we can get that to pop up there.
Is that actually the bolt lock that was hanging down?
The whole bolt drops down and comes back. So the bolt actually comes forward and then comes up, pivots up, so it's locked.
And that's what locks it in, right? That's the block lock?
Much like 1911 style pistol.
Right.
With that toggle, with the barrel, the toggle, much like that.
See what else I can find. They all pretty much look the same.
Those are all 99s. Is there a 95?
I don't see a 95. We'll get to that after we call out the. What does 253,000 mean? Is that the cartridge?
Yeah. They
Oh,
called
man.
it that
Yeah.
because that was the fastest cartridge of the time. That was the first cartridge to break into the 3000s. And they were really proud of that. It was a 25 caliber with an 87 grain bullet that made it to 3,000 feet per second.
How in the Lord do you remember all this stuff?
And a good buddy of mine had one built, not a 99, a bolt action, and did it in 3,000 and took it antelope hunting and killed the biggest antelope on the trip. The guy looked at him and said, "What are you shooting?" He said, "Well, it's the 253,000 Savage." He went, "What is that?" He said, "Look it up."
There's that. All right. So let's call out the side chat. What are they going to type in there, Walter?
How about just levers?
That'd be good.
Easy to spell. Not too
How do
many
you
letters.
pronounce it? How do you pronounce it though?
Lever.
Isn't that lever?
No, that's a soap
lever?
company.
Is it spelled
Yeah,
different?
Lever is a soap.
Oh, I thought it's somebody that left her.
I like that better, Six.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
I'm a lever.
The levers.
I
Yeah, that's what you do when she burns your supper, right?
That's it right
Lever.
there. Yeah,
All
lever.
right. Lever. Walk says 253,000 is a great cartridge. I'd like to get my hands on something like that. So reloading from the hot pot is on the panel in the side chat and was first in with levers tonight. Texas 6 is on the panel in the side chat as well. So is Kyle Lusk. Hillbilly Up. Have I? Hillbilly Up will be in shortly. He's fetching grandchildrens. Bama Dad's out there. Hey, buddy. Duffer 426 is out there. Mike Hester is also on the panel and the side chat. Edward Petty is out there. Walter is out there and on the panel as well. 01 guys. Guns and Water is out there. Walks Fletcher. Daniel God is my judge. Oh, Busk is on the panel as well, and he needs help spelling levers. Isaac Osborne, Paul Lloyd, Dwayne 7834, Tactical FUD, Firearms and Fellowship. What's going on, brother? GGW is out there. Go Dogs. Hillbilly Up says lever action, baby. Yeah, man. Bobby Barlow, Ron 2A Matters, Firearms and Fellowship again. Andy 79Z28 is, I know he's on the panel, and I know he's got at least one lever gun. Dale Poe, Guns and Water, Glenn Davis, Christian Grest, Glenn Davis, Crash, and my phone's going off. Excuse me. Crash, Rich B, and I think we're up to date. Y'all, my mother-in-law's been in the hospital, and I got a call from my stepson. I need to go return this call. Can y'all cover for me for a minute or two?
Yeah,
absolutely.
sure.
Yeah.
Keep going, CW. You're rattling off some good ones there, buddy.
Well, you mentioned the 250 3000, and that one spawned some Wildcats, which became legitimate. And one of the big ones is the 22250.
Yes, sir.
250 case was a 250 3000, neck down to 22 caliber.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's one that most everybody knows about because that's one that is one of our fastest, was one of our fastest 22s, breaking the 4,000 feet per second barrier. Of course, the 220 was one that did it before, but did it with a bigger case.
And it's funny though, you know, usually if you have a Wildcat on like a really popular round, it's no time. It gets indoctrinated. Hell, the 22250 was what? 50 years? Something stupid. I mean, before it was finally indoctrinated by Remington as a Sammy cartridge.
Yep.
It was crazy because Colonel Townsend Whelan was talking about helping develop it, and he was long gone by the time the thing come out in a box of ammo.
Yep, a lot of great calibers sat around as Wildcats for a lot of years.
Yep.
You know, the 2506 is another one.
Yep, it sure is.
And
And
sat around
I
as Wildcat for a long time.
I was
Whalen.
messing with one today that I said, this just goes to show you that the 22 Creedmoor is not all that in a box of chocolates. It's a 22 243.
Mhm.
And got a couple sets of dies for it, got a rifle in it, you know, and I was like, you know, this would be such an awesome if you accurately it, changed the shoulder, gave it its own name. Yeah, it'd still probably be a barrel burner, but you know, what so's the 22 Creedmoor, and people are going to find that out. People are going to grab hold of that thing and shoot the crap out of it because it's fun to shoot. Next thing you know, they're going to be buying barrels. You know.
I mentioned the 284 Winchester.
Yep.
And
You
that's
did.
one that got grabbed by a couple of gunsmiths, and they chambered that from everything from 22 all the way up to 40, 411. I think there was one they made. And
The-
if you don't know anything about the cartridge, Have you heard of a cartridge called the 450 Bushmaster? Because that uses a full-length 284 Winchester case.
Yep.
It has the capacity of a 3006, and it's tight in a small action. It's better in a medium action, but it'll do 3006 ballistics with the same diameter bullet because it's at the same powder capacity in a shorter action. It's a cartridge before its time. If that cartridge was released around the time of the Creedmoor and it had Hornady's backing, it would have been every bit as big, if not bigger, than the Creedmoor. It's
Oh yeah.
it's location. Well, time and location is another thing, and Remington and Winchester in general have been very poor at promoting their cartridges,
Especially Remington.
especially Remington. They've got some really good ones, and they made some mistakes, and all of people did with certain things, but the biggest one is not promoting. That 708 is a tremendous cartridge. They never promoted it.
Look at the 260.
The 260 was forgotten, and it aside from its rifling twist that it was released in, it's got better ballistics than the Creedmoor.
Yes, sir. It'll outrun it.
In a more common case, the 243 308 case. The Creedmoor, of course, uses a kind of a off beaten track case as a parent, but it's close to the same capacity, but a little bit less.
And bringing that full circle, the Creedmoor and all these rounds we're talking about can trace their heritage back to the 250, 3000. I mean, it might not be exact, but they're close. Yeah. Case filled, this, that, back and forth. And Kyle, you ask how we remember this stuff. I don't know. I read a lot, and I'm geeky. So there you go. So I'm a geeky ballistics nerd.
There's your model.
Way up into that.
Look at that.
There's your model 95. And CW is right, man. The wood on these things are just stunning.
Yeah. Yeah. Most 95s I've seen are straight stocked, English stocked, and a lot of them are the butt that you see there. The old school, old style.
Yeah, crescent.
Yeah, crescent butt plate. Not all of them. They did make shotgun butts, which are the straight, but
still really pretty.
Oh yeah, very much so.
But you can see they're very, very similar to the 99. The 99's got a little bit more of a.
What's the matter, girl?
What's
the matter? It's okay.
A little more curve to that. More of a pistol grip where that stock starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, let me do this. Start my camera back. Walks. 7mm 08 is barely alive. That's a round that has intrigued me, but I've never bought one of them.
I don't know if I'd go that far. It's still well appreciated, well known.
There are more rifles
made for it.
More rifles chambered in it than 260. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just about going to have a custom rifle built to get a 260 Remington.
Yeah.
The last one Remington made was was before they went out and rebought themselves back, and it was a Model 7 of all things. And I was like talking about not fitting the cartridge to the platform. Really, I mean, I can see having a nice light little rifle with that, but that's nothing I'd want to start a kid out on necessarily. My Ackley delivers a pretty good wallop.
So you're saying your Ackley's improved?
Yes. You don't get that much performance out of a 308 style cartridge. I ran down that road and I was like, let's push it, let's push it, let's push it until you get a load of gas in your face from a soft ass piece of Hornady brass and the higher temperatures, and it's like, nah, it's not worth it because you're not the gains you're making are minuscule compared to just wearing out your brass,
So if you want a 7mm go faster, just get a Remington
Get a bigger
Mac.
case. Yeah, that's it.
Shoot it within what it's designed for, and leave it at that.
That goes with all of them, man.
All of them, yeah.
Everybody's trying to make a 300 blackout a 500-yard tag driver. Like, why? It's not what it was designed to do.
No, and
Yeah, they already got one. It's called the 300 Magnum.
right. And there's two ways to look at it at a lot of different cartridges, but the blackout, I doubt any of us are going to be parachuting into Pakistan anytime soon, and whacking insurgents and terrorists and all that crap.
Well, I hope not, but I'm not opposed to it.
But that 300 blackout was perfect for that mission in both modes, a supersonic, subsonic. But as far as a hunting gun, which is, I think CW would agree, most of us compare, terminal performance as far as hunting gun. And if used the right way, terribly efficient. If used carelessly, well, you can lose as many deer with it as you can with a 30-06, I guess.
Yep.
Yep, for sure. I remember growing up, deer hunting and such, and the 30-30 was very, very much poo-pooed. It was not powerful enough, not enough power. And, you read the books and read the history, and 30-30 has accounted for probably more or as many deer as most other calibers combined.
I would say it's
Yeah.
probably covered about 90% of all deer deaths I know in the state of Georgia.
Including Carr and Blue Tongue.
Not necessarily because it's such a great cartridge. It's because of what it was when it was released, what it could do. Time that it was released, it was the hottest thing going. And it became like sliced bread. So, it's so common. If somebody's got a firearm and if somebody's got a rifle, chances are it's a 30-30, lever action. So
As we say in the South, that dog will hunt.
So
yeah,
it's not necessarily that it's so great that it's got the great numbers. It's because it's so common, so every day. So
Yeah, so popular. Yeah.
But I mention it because the 30-30 has got a lot more power than the 300 blackout. But
yes, sir.
The blackout works if like Mike said, if used correctly by a hunter opposed to a shooter, someone who's going to place their bullets. And it doesn't take headshots. You can shoot them where they're supposed to, but you can't do it at 600 yards. You can't even do it at 300 yards. But inside 100 or inside 125, from a hunter, somebody who's going to hunt with it like they would hunt with a bow, it's dynamite.
Yeah, I've got like 4 300 blackouts, and when I had my first AR 16-inch barrel, I was watching these guys on this forum that me and CW were on kill deer with it, and I was like, okay, I got to do this. And there was this one cat, and his handle was Fire Davis. He was from Texas, and he was killing monster hogs with his 300 blackout, and he was using the same load I was using, a Hornady SST. So we started kind of collaborating with one another and talking about how good the SST worked at low speed at 100 yards. You know,
And it really
I
does.
said, and I said, how far have you? I know you. I'm not going to ask you about shot placement because I know you know what you're talking about. But how far have you shot a hog, and how big was it? He said a 250 pounder at 125 yards killed it dead. And I'm like, okay, that's good enough for me, you know. And
Well, I mean, it's like getting hit with a lug nut. I mean,
yeah,
damn.
well, I mean, these are really not super heavy bullets. These are 125 grain bullets. So, but in the meantime, I had made a single shot. You know, H&R came out when Freedom Group owned AAC and everything. They came out with that little handy rifle, and it was cheap and didn't cost much. I immediately started messing with it, changed the stock, and added all kind of a trigger shoe and all kind of weird stuff to it. And CW's seen it, and I call it the Franken handy because I mean it really literally looks like it had wires hooked up to it and brought to life. And I would take that, put the suppressor on it, go deer hunting, take the AR and that, and get up in the box stand, and I would have more fun shooting rabbits out in the clover patch at 60, 70, 80 yards with 90 grain XTP subsonics and just going puh and dropping these rabbits. And I'd come back. Jody said, did you get a deer? I didn't hear you shoot. I said, well, I shot 5 times deer. I said, here's a mess of rabbits. And she likes rabbit better than deer. So that was a lot of fun. And it still is today.
There's
Small
nothing wrong
game.
with a good rabbit.
Yeah, it's a small game hunting with a blackout and appropriate bullets. Really a lot of fun.
Here's the question of the night from our buddy Walter. I wonder how folks in the 1890s measured muzzle velocity.
Smoke signals. when you saw smoke come out the barrel, you were downrange and you sent up a smoke signal, and there was somebody there with a sundial keeping time or something. I don't know.
I was thinking maybe a metronome or something like that.
They almost had to do it by sound, and
Yeah, a measured distance and the sound. I don't
I
know.
don't know. It's pretty subjective.
I mean, if you knew the speed of sound, you could do it with a metronome if you knew the distance to the target.
Well, let's
But
see. Back in
We're
those
talking
days,
nanoseconds from when you hear the shot.
back in those days, nothing went the speed of sound except a bullet. Really, if you think about it. So, how would they know what the speed of sound was? Kind of, maybe Tesla knew what the speed of sound was. He certainly knew what the speed of light was. But
Yeah, quicker than you can see it.
yep,
Well, I think as soon as they invented baseball, people figured out the speed of sound because
Yeah.
light travels faster than sound, so it's got to be slower. So
sure.
an old man with a pocket watch and a flag. Wow.
You know, I still
And a slide rule. Yeah.
Time.
I've got my granddad's pocket watch somewhere. Look at that character out there. Ricky Baird, what's up, bud?
He's getting wet tonight, too.
There you go, Mr. Bob. That's a great idea. Yeah, I still got my.
What did I load into?
Yep. Well, Isaac Newton first messed around with speed of sound back in the 1600s. He came up with a calculated value, but he was off by quite a bit.
Mhm. But he
And
was
then-
closer than anybody else
Yeah. And then,
because everybody else was like, "Man, that's fast."
and I can't remember the fellow's name who was the first one to come up with it reasonably accurately, but he was a preacher in England, I think. And he was standing up in a tower, and he watched for the muzzle flash and then kept time with something. I forgot. It might have been a metronome, as Kyle was talking about, for all I know. Some device like that, not a stopwatch, because they didn't have those then. But that was back in late 1700s, I think. And he came up with somewhere 1,000 and something feet per second. And he was pretty close doing it that way.
My windows are rattling. Ricky, I hope you're getting rain because it sure is looking nasty out your way.
Y'all remember when it used to thunder and not rain, and old folks would say, "Well, that's just heat lightning."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever.
And wouldn't they say when it was sun shining?
Oh, the
And-
devil's
and-
beating his wife.
Yeah, and raining. Yeah, devil's beating his wife. That's
Well,
my
the thing about
grandma
heat
used to say.
lightning is you see lightning, but there's no thunder.
Well, I looked at my cousin. We just buried my uncle this past week, and he was a Marine and had a full military funeral, and it was very hot. And thank God Tom was a no nonsense type of typical Marine. So we had two songs, the flag ceremony, including the 21 gun salute and two Marine prayers, and we were out of there because it was hot. But we were sitting there talking about grandma and hearing it thunder and all that kind of crap, and I was like, you know, if grandma said get in here, I said it didn't matter how far that damn thunder was away. I mean, we was getting in. You know, it's gonna beat your hind end.
And especially when Granny said, crack the windows in the house.
Yep. Depressurize that sucker.
Yep, they were so scared that the house was just going to explode.
And that was before the movie Twister.
Way before the movie.
Yeah.
Dude.
That must have been Dorothy's house they were worried about. Where they learned at. Well, that sucker will just lift off the ground. Just like it did in Wizard of Oz.
I don't know about the whole house lifting off the ground, but I've seen it. I've seen firsthand several roofs just by.
Oh yeah, sure.
I got a question. What's everybody's favorite lever action 22?
39A. But
Browning BLR.
I only have one, so it's hard to come up with a favorite.
I was about to say, anyone that somebody will give me? I don't know.
CW likes that little short stroke action.
Yep. That thing is
I got a little Henry Golden Boy. I like shooting that. It's actually a good shooter.
Man,
Even
that
in my
BLR, you move that sucker an inch, a little more than an inch, and I mean it's like it's been done by Cowboy Gunsmith.
Yeah, the trigger stays in it too. No trigger pinch. You just open your hand.
I've seen 11 and 12-year-old kids sit there and short stroke those 22s and cowboy shoots. I mean, they would rival Michalak. Good Lord. I mean, they're so fast and accurate with them things. It's like they're only moving the lever like a 3/4 of an inch, if that. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, Walks likes the Model 39. Mr. Bob says his Henry H001. and Ozzy likes his Henry. I do not have a 22 lever action.
Me neither.
Me
Bless
neither.
your heart.
I've got plenty of semis and bolt actions, but I don't have a lever action.
Yeah, I got a semi 22 Marlin Model 60.
That's
That's
what
it.
I've got. I've got one of those, and I've got a Savage bolt gun, 10 shot.
I got a Belgian-made Browning semi-auto that my grandfather brought back from World War II.
Them suckers will throw empty shells down your shirt sleeve if you ain't careful.
It's also the first takedown 22.
Yep. Bottom and jet.
Yep. I wish I was going to be able to make it. The odd thing is, I'm off on Wednesday and Thursday, and y'all are going to be having fun on Monday and Tuesday.
Well, you just
Yes,
be
we
late
are.
to the party as usual.
I usually show up at the same time as Jamie.
Walks feels sorry for us.
Why?
Apparently, because we
Hey.
don't have any bolt action 22s,
No,
I mean, lever action.
lever action 22.
lever action. Yeah.
I've got bolt action 22s. I got one that shoots 22 shorts. You can load that thing on Monday and shoot it till Sunday.
Bama Dad
Browning-
had a Remington.
them Brownings aren't cheap, are they?
Do what? Six?
Them Brownings aren't cheap, are they?
No,
No.
they like those things.
You talking about that takedown semi-auto Browning?
No, lever action.
Oh,
BLR.
The BL, they call it BL 22.
I would like to have myself one of those rifles like Alabama Reloader was showing. But like Bama Dad says, nothing Browning is cheap. But hey, man, if it's well made, you know, that's okay. But he had a 270 X-Bolt long range hunter. It had a 24-inch barrel with a 7.5 twist in the rifle. And yeah, you get a 270 with that kind of spin in the bore, and yeah, you can do anything 6.5 Creedmoor can do then, in my mind. Maybe I'm kidding myself, but I don't think I am.
I don't think
Oh,
you
no.
are.
You got a long action. First of all, you got more powder. As long as it's throated and chambered to take that long bullet. My Lord. You talking about some BC there.
My Browning 270 would eat anything that you could throw at it. I don't remember the twist rate in it.
Hey, Gene,
Yes.
you see what time it is?
Yes, I do.
You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yeehaw! Let's do this. It's time for What's Hot Pot Got.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
I picked this out. I don't see too many of these come through the shop, and I'm in the process right now of hand sorting all the rifle brass for the 4th of July sale coming up and for the summer months. And this happens to be a Nosler 7mm SAUM. Oh, goodness. It focused for me. I can't believe it. And that is a 7mm Remington short action ultra magnum. You guys talking about that 7mm 08? I see quite a bit of that come through. And that usually, usually goes in the scrap barrel because we don't get enough of it to list it because it costs to actually put stuff on the internet, on your websites. So we don't get enough of it to list it, and so I try to keep some back in a different bucket for anybody coming in or anybody that calls and wants any of it. But the 7mm Saum, we're going to call it. This is a Remington introduced a 7mm short action Ultra Magnum cartridge in 2002 to compete with the 7mm Winchester short Magnum cartridge. It was designed specifically for the Remington Model 7 Magnum rifle and intended primarily for long-range hunting use. The difference in velocity between the 7mm SAUM cartridge and the 7mm Winchester short Magnum, or WSM, is less than 50 feet per second. They are almost ballistic twins. They're twinning. Both the 7mm SAUM and the 7mm WSM achieve optimal ballistics result when the bullet weights from 120 to 160 grains. This is designed by Remington Arms Company, designed in 2002, and is produced from 2002 to present day. The 7mm SAUM suffered from being released later than the 7mm WSM, and very few manufacturers chambered rifles in this caliber. The low demand for factory ammunition and this cartridge has resulted in a sharp increase in the cost as of mid-2014. Currently, the 7mm SAUM is experiencing a rebound in popularity with custom rifle builders and hand loaders, as it is able to drive the long 180 grain class bullets faster, long enough for long-range target shooting. It's a popular choice in the F-class shooting and has been used to take home multiple championships in this discipline. 7mm also fills a niche in extended long-range competition, 700 to 2,100 yards, where it is a popular choice.
That's awesome.
And that's a distance for this cartridge, up to 2,100 yards. That's screaming.
Yeah, that's almost a mile and a half, ain't it?
2,100 yards? How many yards is a mile?
1,700.
1780.
Yeah, I mean that's screaming for this little cartridge, but it's experiencing another gain of popularity as well. But
Does
with
that
Republic
thing-
Gaming, what?
Does that thing have a belt on the bottom of it?
No,
Belted
No.
mag?
No.
No
No.
belt. Okay. Go ahead. I'm
Not-
sorry to interrupt.
it is not a belted Magnum. I'm going to look into this cartridge a little bit more. I'm seeing a little bit of this start to come through now, so I may start to put some of it back. It's going to be slim pickings on this one, let me tell you, but I'm going to do what I can. But I want to share what?
Design your muzzle brake carefully.
Yeah, I got a buddy of mine's got a 5-axis mill and a will.
There you go.
Yeah, and he's actually just getting into muzzle brakes, and he's doing them right. And he's not messing
Cool.
around. I mean, we're talking less recoil than anything else out there on the market from what he's got through sled testing. But at Republic Ammunition, we're going to have a 4th of July sale. So we're going to have BLC2 powder on sale. I do know this. We're going to have tack on sale. Primers are going to be on sale. There's free hazmat on everything. Still got to pay the shipping. If you're local, you can stop in and forego the shipping and the hazmat. Cash and carry does rule the roost. But we're going to have a nice 4th of July sale going on. So I hope everybody gets on and enjoys the prices, because my boss is out to beat everybody else on the 4th of July sale. That's his goal. That doesn't mean he's going to meet it, but that's his goal. And he's a good man. It's a good company. And he keeps me able to pay my bills. I definitely appreciate that.
You got a question on the screen right there.
Yes, we do have some 300 POC. I got probably 300 pieces of it. I've actually been kind of saving it back because I looked at a Savage 300 PRC yesterday. That thing's heavy. That's a big rifle. That 300 PRC from Savage. That's big. It's in the MDT chassis, and
That's heavy. Yeah.
it's wonderful. But it's also a $2K to get it out the door.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's them cutting me a bit of a deal by knocking the tax off for me. At my LGS. They're good to me there. They're very good to me. But in turn, if I buy anything, I always try to buy from them. But that's all I got tonight. So that's what Hot Pop's got.
Good deal, man.
Very cool.
Thank you. Tax Tread says he's got 32 pounds of tack.
Yeah, I think we've
Running
got
low.
about 800. I think we've got about 800 left.
Yeah, I need to get some.
32? Oh, come on, man. You're running low.
Yeah, Bama Dad's building him a 300 PRC. I can't wait for him to get done so I can go down there and shoot it with him.
Man, I'll tell you what, that's an interesting cartridge. All the information I've read on it is excellent. So I have been looking at one, and the one I want is naturally the most expensive one on the rack. That's the one that draws me to it.
Yeah.
Every time, and it's been there for a minute. So I was talking to Jeremy in there. I said, "How about out the door?" He said, "What's on the tag?" I said, "Oof." So what if I put it in layaway? He said, "What's on the tag?" Oof.
I like Jeremy. He sounds like Mike.
Jeremy's nice. He's a nice guy, and he has authority in there to give a discount or set prices on things. He's been there for a
Yeah,
long
but he
time.
knows what he's
He's
got
part
in
of
it,
the family.
too.
Yeah, he knows what he's got in it, and and I know what he's got in it. And I'm always about making the local some money. They're family owned and operated. Almost every member of the family works in the gun store, and so you see them all on and off.
Can
They're just
I
good.
talk about that just for a minute? The local mom and pops. You want those people there when you need them. And if you don't do business with them, they're not going to be there when you need them.
Right.
Like the guy you're talking about, Gene, like Rebel, and like the guy I go to. We all got them in our towns. And I know Walter has got a store he likes to frequent. Can you go online and beat their price? Yeah. Heck yeah. These big box stores, yeah, you could probably beat their price on a particular firearm. But you still need those folks there. They're part of your community, and you need to do business with them. But bear this in mind: when you're spending your money with the big box stores, and when you're ordering guns online, this, that, or the other, you're sending your hard-earned money out of your community. It's not staying in your town to do business with other folks in the town. You're sending it down the road somewhere. And
Good point.
it's worth it to me to pay 20, 50 bucks more for something. And just go talk to your Dale Pogue. He only buys local. It's you got to think about where your money's going. You got to think about I need those folks there, and do me a favor and do the show a favor. Next time you go to buy a gun or ammo or a scope this, that, or the other. They may not have exactly what you're looking for. But give them a chance to get it for you. Give them,
Oh yeah.
give
Oh, yeah.
them the opportunity to order in for you what you need. And they're going to get, my guy gives me a price. That's the out the door price. That's shipping, tax, all of that is included in the price that he gives me. Out the door price. And I've spent money there, and I've paid a little bit more than I could have gotten the gun offline for, but then I got to pay tax, I've got to pay shipping, and I got to pay a transfer fee. All of a sudden, that great deal might not be as great as you think it is. So
you got to pay. You pretty much got to pay taxes on it anyway.
well, right. My guy just includes the tax with the price that he gives you, that out the door price. It's the tax is included. Everybody's paying taxes. Uncle Sam gonna get his, y'all.
Yeah, like I said, the price on the tag. I said, what's the price out the door? He said on the tag. Which so
He
he's
had it
gonna
on there.
he's gonna calculate it down, and he's gonna do the math on it, and it's gonna be that price out the door. And it doesn't matter if I put it in layaway or not. I can put it in layaway. That's fine. It's still going to be that price because they know I deal with them.
Yeah.
All my competition race guns that I've ordered through them. It's they're just good people, man. It's a good thing to keep with, like Jamie said, keep the money in the community. Now, I bought some things on Black Friday because they were way cheaper, just way good deals, and I get free transfers at my indoor range. Being a member there, I get free transfers, so it doesn't cost me any more to go in and pick it up. But that's rare. That's rare for me to do.
Yeah. But that's my sermon for the day. I shouldn't say that. We still got to do the verse of the week. So, Andy, what's your favorite lever action?
I only have one. I had a few in the past, but Winchester Model 94, 30-30 and 32 Winchester Special. And then what I currently have is the Rossi 92 20-inch stainless and 357.
If you had to pick a favorite out of all the ones you've owned.
Well, I liked them all. The two 94s I had were pre-64 models, so, and they were both just new for S&H green stamps back in that day. And smooth out of the box. I never did anything to any of those except shoot them.
Yeah. A lot of people, you say S&H green stamps, they don't know what you're talking about.
I do.
I do.
Oh yeah.
Is that like the Piggly Wiggly green stamps?
Yeah, kind of. Probably.
Is that, and what was the other one? Bonus or something like that?
I can't remember the other one, but I remember there was a competitor.
So with that, I'm going to bail out. I got to get up early.
Okay.
Sorry I'm not too chatting, but I've been up at 4:00 every day this week and don't get to bed before 9:30. So I'm a bit tired.
I know the feeling, sir. I know the feeling.
That's past tired. That's past tired. That's tired.
Yeah.
And it's not like I just get up to get up. I work all day. So,
Yeah.
I'm not retired yet. So anyway, everybody have a good week. See what happens if I get a video up sometime early next week with the Athlon. You're not going to see much of the Athlon, but I'll give the reports on it because I just can't carry a lot of equipment to set up filming and everything else. So
You're gonna like it. It's nice.
Oh, I worked great when I used it in the basement with the pellet rifle. I'm saying, this is going to work. So should be
Just
good.
Don't be a dope like me and keep it behind the muzzle.
Yeah, it's it's about 4 to 6 inches behind you and about 10, 12 inches to the right. So
Big bonus stamps. That's what we had around here too.
GGW says blue chip stamps.
Yeah, that was one of them. I remember them too.
Oh yeah.
Good night, Andy.
Good night, Andy. Good to
night,
see
Andy.
you.
Good night, Andy.
everyone.
My grandma collected them. We go down to the store in Dayton, Ohio, and she'd have my grandfather take us down there and drop us off and go in, and she would buy stuff with those stamps or those coupons or whatever they were.
Yeah, that's the ones I remember. Top value. Thanks, Bama Dad. I remember top value and S&H green stamps. And they were green.
Yep.
So, yeah. We got a sighting of Mark Thomas out there. Good to see you,
Yeah.
buddy.
Said he's out of town.
Yep, he's out there. He's been out there for a second.
Garen Wilson said, "We the people have lost yet again." Yeah, we saw that. I got an email from Eric Pratt today. 01 guy, gold bond stamps.
Is that what I went off on in the rant before the chat?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Tommy Boy,
Woolworth. Huh.
Woolworth had stamps. I remember them. Garage guy has the evidence. So they were real. They were a real thing. And it's like, you buy and collect these stamps for like 5 to 8 years, then you might be able to buy yourself a radio.
Get you a spider ring or something like that.
Yeah.
It's the same principle that they do today with their little digital cards where you get fuel points and you can save 15 cents a gallon, but they limit you to 20 gallons. Think about it. That's saving you $6. You're going out of your way to do all your shopping at one store to save $6, but you got to spend $3 worth of gas to get there. Think
But
about it.
Kyle, as a businessman, it's about the end product. It's not about the quick buck. It's all about the end product. So you look at that over a year, 2, 3, 5 year period. Now you realize, well, crap, I've saved $1,352.
Well, that, and you're drawing people back and back. That way they can still save that $6. So they're going to spend more money there, or more than they would. So, and then you offer, like, every Wednesday you can double up on your fuel points and get 30 cents off a gallon, and one day a month you can get 45 cents off a gallon if you triple up on your fuel points. And
Or you could look at it a completely different way. And I'm a businessman, so you could look at it a different way, and you could go to the bathroom by yourself, get your decoder ring out, and do the message, and it says, "Be sure to drink your Ovaltine." And you say, "It's a crummy commercial son of a bitch."
I don't know. I got to go there every day anyway. So if I can save 15
Right.
cents a gallon, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, and that place you work for has got the cheapest gas prices around anyway, man.
Yeah, they really do.
Funkin' Wagnall Encyclopedias. I hadn't thought about that name in forever.
I had
We had-
World Book.
World Book Encyclopedias. I remember my mom almost going broke to buy us a set of those in
That was
1970.
Dude, that was the internet in 1970. What are you talking
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Encyclopedia Britannica, and we had that encyclopedia guy that would come around like once a month selling us new other
Hey, we
books.
learned something new. You want the new edition?
Yeah, you know what I did though? I read the entire set.
Yeah, I did too. It,
And I can answer some questions like Christina will ask me something. I go, blah, 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 blah. She's like, how do you know that? It's like, Encyclopedia Britannica. I read it.
Oh yeah.
and most everything in there was correct, unlike Wikipedia. You know,
Yeah. You got to remember Wikipedia is open source. Anybody can go in there and change anything.
that's
What
right.
was the Encyclopedia Britannica's catchphrase? In all their commercials. Does anybody remember it?
No, the salesman guy never said it.
It just popped into my head when you were talking about it, Gene.
All right, holy crap, we know a thing or two. I don't know.
No need for college if you read this set.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Go ahead. We're listening.
It's in there.
Okay.
Oh crap, that's right. It's in there. Yep. I remember that now.
And you know what's funny?
Trigger me.
Ragu stole that catchphrase from Encyclopedia Britannica.
Good God.
Or is it Prego?
Yeah, we all did that, Bama Dad. And then Bama Dad puts in there, rich people had the World Book encyclopedias. My mama was not rich. GGW says he's still got his World Book set from 1968. Ours from 1970. And what they did,
I need to go look and see in the basement what year the set is that I have down there. I can't remember which encyclopedia set it is. But I know it's from well before I was born.
But if you had to write an essay on New Guinea pygmies, you wanted a set of encyclopedias. You didn't want the internet. You know? For sure. For sure. I will tell y'all a story real quick and real brief, and I will keep it clean as I possibly can. So I got my scrub brush out. I was at a party, and me and my cousin and another friend who we all just saw each other at this funeral, and reminded each other of this party. And it was kind of a geeky guy giving the party, and his family was away. Well, that night, I ended up wearing a 2 foot by 4 foot PV speaker on my head and walking around with it like it was a hat. And now I was sober as a judge, I promise, Jamie. Some guy ended up riding a Harley into the kitchen and various other crazy things. But I woke up and was laying on the floor, and I kind of heard a girl's voice up above me, and I heard my cousin's voice up above me. And he was trying his best to get somewhere. Now he was wanting to take exit 10, and she's just wanting to stay right on that yellow line, you know. She wasn't wanting to take exit 10. And he said, "Here, let's ask Mike." He said, "You tell her you can't get pregnant when you're this and that and this and that." And I went, "Oh no, that's impossible." Like that. And he says, "Trust me, he's read the World Book encyclopedias." Like that. I don't know if that ever did him any good or not. I asked him the other day, I said, "That do you any good?" He said, "I don't know, I passed out." I tried to keep that clean.
I forgot about the encyclopedias. I remember when my kids were young, they thought the basement stored all the knowledge in the world. That's before they figured out the internet existed. Which I wish they would have just stuck to the books, because all it's done is polluted their mind.
Yeah, the thing was, Gene, they come around every year to sell you the yearbook
Right.
the next year. And
Mhm.
Walter's got a good question there. Who of y'all used to get the National Geographic? We used to get them at school.
Me.
I'd read them at school.
Reader's Digest. Yes.
Yeah.
Grandma got it.
We used to
Tommy-
use National
well-
Geographic for other reasons other than learning about the world.
You mean I wasn't the only one?
Y'all speak
I
for
didn't-
yourself. I had the truck stop. I grew up at a truck stop, so I didn't need National Geographic.
You didn't need that stuff.
Okay.
I didn't live that close to Atlanta. I couldn't use that. I'd look at that and go,
That's
him ain't supposed to point that way.
Hell, she just slung that over her shoulder. She must be the queen.
Tommy
Oh
boy,
shit! There's the king. Jesus.
Tommy Boy says they got their encyclopedias from the grocery store. Every month they had a new set. So it took several years to get a whole set. And they had limited numbers of each version, so you better get
Yeah.
there early. Yeah.
I remember seeing them in our grocery stores too. My folks bought the Encyclopedia Britannica, and I remember the yearbooks also. You know, and on a rare occasion, you'd be working on something in some high school class, and say, "Man, my teacher told me something different than this," and Mom would say, "Well, it's probably going to show up in the next yearbook or something." I said, "Well, that might be a little too late for my report." But
Yeah. That's
Now,
But
I remember seeing that stuff in the stores, but we had an actual salesman come to the door.
Yeah.
And sell us, the next ones until we got the final set. And I think we had the complete set by the time I was 10 years old.
And the thing about it is, there's enough knowledge in my basement on those bookshelves that I don't really need the internet to find something. I can still go down to those books and find it, even though things have changed in the last 40 years of my life. But the basic knowledge is still there.
I wish I could find ours.
well, I just been thinking the same thing. I'm trying to remember. It was in my mom kept them for quite a while, and then when she passed, I think we gave them away or something. Now I wish we'd have kept them. Now that we're talking about it, because there really is enough in there, as Kyle says. You know, if something happened, there's enough there to reset if you had to.
Yeah, our set was 1970, Walter.
Y'all got me wanting to look.
I was in second.
I'm making the trip down to the basement. Hang on.
I think Bama Dad's got this wrong. It's not the Gen Xers that can't use the Dewey Decimal System. It's
Yeah.
the millennials and the Gen Zers. Because I'm a Gen Xer.
The
And
problem with the
I
Gen
can
X
use the Dewey
here-
Decimal System without a problem. I can go through the card catalog and go right to where I need to go to find the book.
Well, the problem is we can't find a library to use this knowledge that they forced down our throats when we were in school.
Okay.
Now, what
We
wait a minute.
we still got really good libraries where I live at.
Yeah. that's-
Really, really good libraries.
Yeah. How you doing, Hillbill?
Good. I'm so sorry. I'm so late. When I got the grandkids, and then after I got them, they're like, "We want some grilled hamburgers, outside on the grill." So I had to start charcoal and all that, and cook some burgers. So
Good for you.
sorry
Grandpa.
about that.
Should have
That
made her read
nothing to
the
be sorry about at
Encyclopedia
all.
Britannica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Tommy Boy says-
So far, there's 2 complete sets. There's Encyclopedia International. Then there's the New Book of Knowledge. 2 complete sets. What is this other one over here? with the black label on it.
Wikipedia.
I see. You're
Ask
great.
Jarvis.
No, no, it's
Jarvis.
medical health encyclopedias. There's plenty of thesauruses and dictionaries.
See, I always thought I wanted to go hunting thesauruses. You know, I mean, Tyrannosaurus is a little too bad. Brontosaurus is a little too big. I figured that thesaurus would fit right in there. You
It's
know,
right in
just
the middle.
about 35 Remington size.
Yeah, it's right in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's thesaurus.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
That's the one you want. Yeah, it's
It's
thesaurus.
the
Right, you want
tasty one.
the-
Yeah,
Are we ready, Jamie?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Let's
Heck
do
yeah,
it.
I don't know which one what we're doing tonight, but let's see it up there. What do we got?
All right. Y'all know we've been doing the doing a little bit of the memorable verses from the Old Testament. And I'm probably going to get shook up on this one. Anyway, let's do this. Can we show this? Malachi 6:6 through 8. With what shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves a year old? Verse 7, will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? Verse 8, he has shown you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. It ain't that hard, y'all. Let me find where I'm going here. Get these savage pictures off of here. The best way to describe this is like a courtroom setting. What we actually have here is we have a conversation going on between the nation of Israel and God the Father. And imagine, if you will, verse 6 there, Israel in the witness stand being questioned by God. With what shall I come before the Lord? Bow myself to the high God. Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves a year old? What can I do? You expect too much of us, God. You expect too much of us. How can we please you? How can we satisfy you? And they continue. Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? How much is enough, God? What do we got to do to satisfy you? And verse 8 is God's response. I've shown you, old man, what is good. What does the Lord require of you but to do justly? Do what's right. Do what you know is right in your own heart that I placed there before you were born. Love mercy. Extend that mercy to other people to the measure that you want me to measure it to you.
Yep.
And the last one is to walk humbly with your God. That's it. It's not that hard.
All right, it's pretty simple.
Pretty simple. And Jesus summed it up even better. Love God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. David Guzik says there, with what shall I come before the Lord? This was a question asked out of bitterness and resentment. In Micah's imagined courtroom, Israel called out to God from the witness stand and said, what do you want from me? And he goes on there, the Lord pleased with thousands of rams or 10,000 rivers of oil? We can almost hear Israel shouting at God from the witness stand. You ask too much, God. Nothing will satisfy you. If we brought 10,000 rams or rivers of oil or even our own firstborn, it would not be enough to please you. You are unreasonable. One guy says, walk, WALTKE says there, blinded to God's goodness and character. He reasons within his own depraved frame of reference. He need not change. God must change. His willingness to raise the price does not reflect his generosity, but veils the complaint that God demands too much. We want God to change to accept us, not us to change to be acceptable to God. That ain't the way it works. And in Micah the prophet's imagined courtroom, God stopped the shouting of angry defendant from the witness box. God essentially said, "You act as if what I require of you is some mystery. In fact, it's no mystery at all. I have shown you clearly what is good and what I require of you, to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." The Lord answered the contentious witness in open court. What I require of you isn't complicated. Simply do these three things. That's all. To do justly, act in a just, fair way towards others. Treat them as you want to be treated. Love mercy. Don't just show mercy, but love to show mercy. Give others the same measure of mercy you want to receive from God. And to walk humbly with your God, he just says, remember who I am, your God. If you keep that in mind, you will walk humbly before me. And you don't want to try to be humble, but to be humble. As to acting humbly, when a man forces himself to it, that is just pitiful stuff. When a man talks a great deal about his humility, when he is very humble to everybody, he is generally a canning hypocrite. Humility must be in the heart, and then it will come out spontaneously as the outflow of life in every act that a man performs, and that's Charles Spurgeon. Questions or comments? Oh, one more. Very similar verse in 1 Samuel 15:22. So Samuel said, Has the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed than the fat of rams. Basically, what Samuel is saying here is if you just be obedient and do what God expects of you, then you don't need burnt offerings and sacrifices.
Right. And in the first chapter there of Micah, that's you got to kind of read that, even if you only read the first half of that chapter 1, because that's what kind of led up to these verses. And God is telling these guys, say, don't be putting that stale bread on my altar. Don't be doing all these weird sacrifices and stuff. The stuff that you've been doing is I don't like that. I don't want you doing that. But here's what I do want you to do. And apparently they were just bringing all kinds of contemptible stuff as sacrifices, stuff that God didn't need or want, and that's why they're saying stuff like, well, what do we got to do then? I said, well, don't bring me that stuff. What's the matter with you?
They were bringing crippled sheep.
Rotting maters.
Yeah, basically just their trash, their throwaway stuff, and who, let alone God himself, who would accept that? You know, just no. You guys, that's what makes you think I'd want that in the first place. You know, here's what you got to do. It's a couple of sentences here. That's it. That's all I want from you folks. It's not that hard.
If, you,
Well,
if y'all
and
notice this
to
week,
start,
if y'all notice this week, sometimes God speaks in weird conduits to straighten Israel out, and they need to straighten out. And I'm not going to say any more about that.
Well, as do we all from time to time.
Yes, of course, of course.
Yes.
well, one cool thing about that is, you know, roundabout way they started that out is like, listen here, old man, getting their attention.
Yeah.
You know, we have a leader nowadays that use names like similar to get attention to somebody's attention, and it works. I mean, yep.
Well, God says, "Oh man," not old man.
Yeah, I know.
But
And we
man.
all know what Trump said.
yeah. 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 Yeah, that's one of my favorites from the Old Testament. We got another one from the Old Testament next week, which we will probably start incorporating into our sign-offs. That's probably more than I should say, but y'all will figure it out.
Jamie, can I say something just real quick? I hate to interrupt. I'm sorry I was late. I got to jump over because Chad and them for his show next, they're doing it remote from Hasbro's Winnebago. And so I got to go over and do a sound check. They're at the gun range, actually.
Down by
That's
the river.
redneck right there.
And yeah.
Down by the river.
Yeah. And, but real quick, I just want to remind everybody 4th of July is coming up. And we have the hashtag Let Freedom Ring. That's most usually good stuff, fun. I'll say a short video. It don't have to be short form, but you know, if you don't know what to do, you can look up hashtag Let Freedom Ring on YouTube. You know, people's been doing this for years. It's fun. And does anybody remember what time on 4th of July? It's Eastern time.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Eastern
Eastern.
time.
Yep.
On the
And
4th.
make sure it's got hashtag Let Freedom Ring in the
Yes.
description and the title.
And I mean, just shooting a gun, whatever, wish America happy birthday, Independence Day, whatever you want to do. But the way I understand the whole concept of this is to basically celebrate America's birthday and flood YouTube with a bunch of 2A, stuff.
Well, the main goal is to flood YouTube with a bunch of 2A, and I've been doing that since I started my channel.
Yeah,
So get out there, everybody.
I have to.
Do a video, whether you upload a lot or not. Still do a Let Freedom Ring and let everybody know your feelings on the 2A stance.
I was
You know
searching
what?
a few
Be sure
today,
it's
and
real.
one of the ones that popped up right there towards the top was Willie Chaplin on here.
Oh,
Curtis?
Curtis.
Yeah,
Curtis Tatum. Yeah.
Yeah, and his popped up there. So I went back and kind of watched it for the day. But anyway, I just wanted to remind everybody real quick, and so. I'm going to jump off here. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so sorry I'm late, and I'm so sorry I got to leave early. But anyway, y'all have a blessed weekend. And
You too. Thank you, Billy. We appreciate you.
you bet. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Good night, Hillbilly.
Evening, Mike.
Look at good girl.
GZW
says, are they in a van? I think they're in a Winnebago.
Down by the river.
By the river.
Yeah.
They're at the shooting range, so I don't know what this is going to look like. but I'm gonna try to stay up and watch some of it.
Not me, boys. I'm getting ready to hit the sack. So,
Well, it's already 13 till, so we probably should start going through the room and make sure we
Yeah.
clear the deck for all those big doings over there. I usually let Hillbilly go first, but he done gone. So, Kyle, what you got coming up this week, buddy?
Hopefully you and me can get together on Wednesday or Thursday and make a Let Freedom Ring video.
We'll see if we can make that happen.
Either let it ring or let it load or something.
Let's say y'all can make one while you're all together.
We will,
Right.
but he ain't.
Man, you're reading my thoughts, Six.
Yeah.
We
You know,
lost.
all of y'all one big line started off.
Lost
Yeah.
CW again.
Lost CW again.
dadgummit.
I'm wondering when we're going to lose me. It's thunder and lightning like crazy here. Light's been flickering and all that, but we're still here. Yeah, I hope to accomplish that. Started loading some Argentine Mauser loads. Maybe we can take that out and shoot it with a string or something, because I don't know if I trust a gun that old that I've never shot. I've loaded them light, so we can play with that. But I got some stuff for us to shoot. I got plenty of guns I've never shot before, so we can go break that in.
That'd be fun.
That's
So,
about what I got.
what caliber is this Argentine Mauser?
It's a 7.65 by. Oh, please hold. I can't remember the exact numbers.
That's
I don't-
good enough.
I don't speak metric.
55?
Probably, yeah.
7.65 53.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I've already cast and sized and powder coated, and I've loaded one round. I just want to see if she'll fire first before I load any more.
Tommy Boy knew it. He always does. All right. Thanks for being here, Kyle. Walter, what you got coming up, bud?
Well, I'm gonna go to the range Monday and film me some Let Freedom Ring video. I made up some special ammo in red, white, and blue. So
Oh,
I'm
nice.
gonna go ding that stuff a little bit, set up some steel at the range, and we've got a wad cutter Wednesday coming up next week, the shooting part of the one that I posted this past Wednesday. And we got a few little local things. We're going to have some get-togethers here going on next week with some friends. And what else is there going? I'm fixing to head down a direction that I swore that I'd never do, and I'll tell you more about it when I get all those ducks lined up and in a row. But it's going to be a little bit different for me. It's going to smell funny. I'll give you that much of a hint. But anyway, it ain't going to be anytime soon. Another month or so out, I think, before I get started on that. So anyway, yeah, it's just kind of a normal week for me, other than the 4th of July, and that's in one of my favorite holidays, as I'm sure it is for everybody else. Where we take the time to reflect on what it took to get us here, and try to remind all our left-leaning friends and neighbors, what we're all about. And half of them don't know. They're just clueless. So that's all. Yeah, that's what I got. I enjoyed being here. I'm always thankful for the invitation. I enjoy every bit and piece of this show. It's a good place to be on Friday night. So, Mr. Hot Pot, what's happening your way?
Well, let's see. First, I'm thankful for just being here. Side chat was pretty hot tonight. A lot of different little topics floating around, which is always good. Good conversations. Let's see. I got my GSSF shoot tomorrow, and I'm getting packed up to head to this place called Vail, North Carolina. It's a little podunk town.
Where the
I hope they
women
got a
are,
barber. I hope they at least got a barber.
where the men are men and the women are too.
You said it. You said it. Now I'm going to be expecting that. Okay.
Put this back up there.
When the men are men and the sheep are scared.
Mm.
Yeah. But I hope anybody that can come will come. I'm sure a lot of us will bring some swag around with us to give out and some different things. I got a couple things planned while I'm there. So it's just going to be a good time. Good time. But thanks for having me on again tonight. I greatly appreciate you all. Because, it's only once around the ride. So you always got to remember to keep blowing that smoke.
Let the smoke flow.
Good deal. Good deal. Go ahead, Rebel. What you got coming up?
Well, I ain't reloaded squat. I need to get on that this weekend. As soon as I get off work tomorrow, I'm going to load up some rounds for us to play with, for me to play with, this or that. Of course, I've got a Harold's reloading press and a toolbox I've made up. I could do it all remotely. That's a pain in the butt. I'd rather do it ahead of time. And, but hopefully, I hope you guys have a good time. I'm going to try to be a good host. I told the one guy, I'm not a big itinerary guy. I'm like, go with the flow. Hey, y'all want to stay in the air conditioning a little bit longer? Fine. If y'all want to go out and shoot, let's go. Let's roll. Nothing that we are doing is more than 10 minutes from the shop. So that's how many venues I have access to. So we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a real good time.
We'd be expecting that now.
I hear you.
Maybe some grilling out.
That's fine. I got a brand new Traeger, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right.
break it in.
Yep. It's already broke in. I was cooking on that sucker 2 hours after I got it.
You said brand new.
It's brand new.
Well,
It'd be brand new. It'd be brand new to you.
You didn't say already seasoned.
Yeah.
It was pre-seasoned. It's pre-seasoned when you met it.
Yeah, that's right.
all right. So thanks, Rebel. I'm looking forward to seeing you, brother. I'm excited as I can be. 6, what you got coming up?
Well, we're going to do some cowboy shooting in the morning. And then Wednesday, we got some visitors coming from Chicago to visit with us for a little while, and a couple other places. And then that's really about it. We're going to try to do some shooting next weekend for the 4th of July weekend. So that's about it. All I got. Trying to repair my air compressor. I've been having a hard time with it. Trying to get the right parts. So,
That's the one for your air guns?
yeah, I can't shoot my 308 with my new moderator on it anymore until I get my air compressor fixed.
Yeah, it's always something, ain't it, buddy?
Always something.
Yeah.
Retainer clip fell out of it or broke apart or whatever and messed it all up. So I'm trying to work on it. I got videos of what I've been doing. Once I get it running again, I'll post them. And that's about all I got.
Well, thank y'all. Thank all you guys on the panel for being here. M. Gabriel said he didn't get a notification. We're always here, bud. Every Friday night at 8 o'clock. Come on over and see us. But yeah, I hate that. And there's Chad Kelly out there. And there's still 22 of y'all here. Thank you so much for sticking with us. And We appreciate y'all more than you know. I'll do something here I don't usually do when we sign off, but any of you have any questions or topic ideas, you can email me at jh586sw@gmail.com. Most of y'all have the sheet. I'm on the sheet. So, and also Georgia Shooting Connection at gmail.com. Dang. So, GGW, go Dogs, brother. It's getting close. It's getting really close. Y'all have a great week. And as far as I know, are we doing the show next week, guys? It's the 4th of July.
I think it would be a very opportune time to do a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Come on,
I'll be
man.
here.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're planning on being here next Friday night. If y'all can't make it, we understand. But we love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Find somewhere to go to church this Sunday, and we hope the Lord blesses y'all all real good. And if He's willing, we'll see you next Friday night at 8 o'clock. Good night, y'all.